80 years ago. And it's wonderful that we're actually having the party on her birthday, her actual day. Thank you. Before I go any further, I'd really like to say thank you to everybody that helped get this together. There were a lot of people with input. We've got some people from all around places. We've got people from Queensland, Western Australia, South Australia, Tasmania, New Zealand and America. So I think that's pretty good. So hands together for everyone. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you my big sister, Pat Boyan. Pat was the eldest of the Daniel grandchildren, so we elected to have Pat do the speech, but I think she's going to be asking for some help, so be prepared.
Thank you, Marie.
Pat, the music doesn't work, so you know.
Yep. Okay, well, as the eldest grandchild, I have been asked to speak about Norma and to propose a toast on this special day in all our lives, not just Norma's. It's special for all of us, isn't it? Just to have everybody together like this. I'm just so thrilled to see everybody and catch up with people. When I was thinking about what I needed to say about Norma, I decided to use her name as a way of exploring what I know of her. All of you in the room will have your own knowledge and special stories about Norma, and if anybody would like to come up in a few minutes, I'm very happy for others to come up and talk as well. But for now, I ask for indulgence while I just do a little bit of meandering of my own and think about Norma. So firstly, the letter N. Norma is a nomad. She's travelled all over the world and she's made friends everywhere she's gone. She's nimble. Tap dancing is just one of her many skills. She's also a nurturer. We all have our memories of the way she has been with us when we've needed her, when we've needed someone to care for us. Norma would always be there. But most importantly, she's noble. She is high-born, aristocratic. She shows greatness of mind. She's excellent, fine and splendid. She is a Daniel. Okay, next we come to the letter O. Norma is outgoing, outpouring and outgiving. She's worked with Rosie's Soup Kitchen around the Gold Coast, and for many years she visited the women in prison. She's also optimistic. Like all of us, she's encountered difficulties in her life, but she has a wonderful way of seeing the bright side of life. I remember when a ship she was on was stuck in the dock in Brisbane, and down here in Melbourne we were getting lots of TV coverage of very disgruntled passengers. And I was talking to Norma and she said she was having a wonderful time. She was lying around the pool, and she was being fed well and just enjoying ship life. She even said she was waving to the helicopters as they were going over taking their news shots. So she just didn't waste any time being miserable. She just had a ball and enjoyed it, as she always does. What about R? That's the next letter in Norma's name. She has great rapport. She develops connections with people. She's also reconstructed herself across the life cycle. She makes the most of opportunities as they come along. She's reflective and thoughtful, especially when she's trying to support others. Finally, she's incredibly resilient. No matter what life throws her way, she seems to be able to just remain buoyant and cheerful. She has the ability to cope and just get on with life. The next letter is M. As all the partners of the Daniel women will agree, she is typical of our breed. She's a bit mad. and she knows how to deal with mayhem. Of course, this is usually when she's trying to cope with problems created by others, usually non-Daniel.
Yes.
And Daniel women are really wrong.
Never.
Where's Martin, Cinema and Kelvin? I'm sure they agree with that.
And Laurie.
She's also mighty. She's strong and powerful. And another strength I've been very aware of with Norma is that she's very modern. She likes to keep up to date with current trends, and she can relate to people right across the different stages, the age spectrum. And finally we come to the letter A. Norma is a woman of action. If something needs to be done, she gets on with it. Again, I remind you about the work she did with Rosie's and the women in prison. She's also an adventurer. She's ready to take on new challenges. She's affable, easy to talk to, and courteous. She's an advisor. She's always ready to share her knowledge and wisdom. She's affectionist. We all know how loving and kind she is. And finally, she is authentic. She's worthy of our trust. She's reliable and she's genuine. So this is the Norma I know, and I love her, and I feel very privileged and grateful that I've had the experience of her being my aunt. I know there are others who would like to share some of their experiences with Norma. I know Una had some things to say, and also Mark Dorizzi. And I'm not sure whether anybody else would like to speak, but I'd invite anybody who would like to say something to come forward. You were going to share something about dancing on the...
No, sorry. I just was taking... No, I've got a project.
Oh, okay. Where's Mark Dorizzi?
No, one of the memories we had asked for, you know, memories of Norma that, you know, we could share. The first thing that came to my mind was you with an old piece of clothing tied around your hair, polishing the floor of the vestibule, as we used to call it, and singing to the radio.
Yes. Always.
That was my first, because there's, what, 8 years between us?
That's correct.
So Norma was just getting into the, you know, teen years and going to dances and things, and I was madly jealous.
Thank you.
Terry, you're going to say something?
I probably don't need that, but look, Norma to me, like our family grew up with the Daniel clan, and we had fantastic times with them. Now, a couple of things come to mind with Norma. One in particular is that she's probably the only person who could open a takeaway. It's called Get Stuffed.
Yes!
So people ring up and she say, "Get stuffed." So I don't know whether it went that well, that business.
It's still going.
They're still getting stuffed. But one story comes to mind with me where Pauline and I went up to see Expo, and we stayed with Norma and Chris, and look, it was, so Norma said, "Look, we've got to go to Mass." So we went to Mass, and being hot up there, all the doors are open at that, and Norma's on deep in prayer, and then Norma says to me, nudges me, she said, "Terry," she said, "see that big C out there," which was Conrad Hilton, the casino, she said, "It's saying to us, come to me." So we did. Pauline was home with the kids. Norma and I have, you know, had a few good times in. We had a few drinks, we had a few beds, and that sort of. Then all of a sudden, it's probably about 5:30 in the morning. Norma's saying to these people who are all losers and that on the big wheel, "Will you liven up? How can we get the good vibes going?" You know? So I wander in at about 6 o'clock daylight. Norma's singing, "Oh, what a beautiful morning," and I've got no idea why Pauline cracked the shits. But all she wanted me to do was say, "Oh, I suppose you can't get up in the morning and take the kids to Expo." I said, "I'll be up." So after an hour's sleep, I've driven to, she said, "I suppose you can't watch the, you know, the fireworks at 9:30 at night." But that was Norma. I mean, a fun person and just a wonderful person to have a great time with.
Thank you so much.
And